All the details on the Redmi K30 Pro series right here. And yes, a series of phones because there's at least two in this range, the K30 Pro and the K30 Pro Zoom Edition. Plus, Redmi are launching some other products too. The phone, as we all know, getting a Snapdragon 865. This is the best processor, and I think Redmi are going to try to take the crown of the cheapest Snapdragon 865 phone that we've got so far. In terms of the other specs of the internals, we get UFS 3.1 storage and LPDDR5 RAM. So it's looking really good for the internals. We've got all the latest and greatest internals in this phone. Redmi will also put one of the biggest vapor chambers in this phone. This is supposed to take some heat away from the processor. We've already got some Antutu benchmarks directly from Redmi and also compared to the V30 Pro. These are just synthetic benchmarks and don't really give us an idea of how the phone will work. But suffice to say, you've got some of the best internals in this thing, so it's going to be a very good performing phone. When it comes to the screen, the biggest news is of course the omission of high refresh rates. There's no 90 Hz in this. It's sticking with a 60 Hz refresh rate. But actually, if you look at the competition, it's actually not very common to have high refresh rates, especially at this price point. It's only the X50 Pro from Realme that give it to us at this price. Phones from Huawei and Samsung definitely still stick to 60 Hz. So no high refresh rates in this phone, but Redmi say they're using a good Samsung AMOLED panel with HDR10 Plus, which should mean much better color reproduction on here. I really like the screen on the K20 Pro, maybe because it's bezel-less, it just gives you a really good looking type of display, and that should be replicated and bettered on the K30 Pro. The battery specs have not been released by Redmi, but we can expect around about a 4,500 mAh battery. And in terms of the charging specs, these haven't been released either, so don't expect a really fast charging speed like you get in the Realme X50 Pro. If we look at other products from Xiaomi and Redmi, we can expect the fast charging on the K30 Pro maybe to come in around 33 watts, there or thereabouts. It certainly won't be up at the X50 Pro's level at 65 watts. The reason that the Realme X50 Pro includes those things is because it saves a lot of money with the camera hardware, whereas the K30 Pro from Redmi spends the money in that area. You have the Sony IMX686. It's a new, bigger camera sensor and it should perform very well overall, but they also have a 3x telephoto zoom on here as well. This is where Redmi have spent the money to basically give a camera that matches the V30 Pro from Huawei in terms of what it can do. You also get 8K video capabilities on the phone, but I don't think it's a feature that anyone should really be interested in too much. There are a lot of drawbacks for using 8K, not to mention the huge file sizes, but there's just a lot of limitations when it comes to 8K recording. Even the S20 Ultra has some limitations when it records in 8K, so I wouldn't expect the K30 Pro to do any better. The 4K on the phone should be very good though, and we know we're getting an ultra-wide camera too, as Redmi showed off this picture with a 0.6 times zoom, which is the ultra-wide. Not confirmed by Redmi though if that will be able to shoot in 4K. There are a lot of Xiaomi phones that only shoot in 1080p on that ultra-wide camera, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Changes in design from the normal K30. That had a vertical camera arrangement with a circular design around it, but we're getting a real circular camera bump. You've also got these color options, and I definitely prefer the silver or gray or black option. And Redmi are keeping the pop-up in this phone, and it could be one of the only phones this entire year that actually gives us a pop-up camera. Maybe it was cheaper for Redmi to keep this design, or maybe they just really wanted that bezel-less display and to differentiate it from the cutout display that we saw in the Xiaomi phones. Also, a new type of vibration motor in this phone should make haptic feedback much better, and an underscreen fingerprint sensor because of the AMOLED display. It does keep the headphone jack, and there's an infrared sensor too, and Redmi say that there is high-res audio in the phone. Okay, so the price, nothing has leaked on this phone, but we could be looking at the cheapest Snapdragon 865 smartphone in 2020. If we look at the competition, the Realme X50 Pro starts at $3,599 in China, and I would expect the Redmi to be coming in around that price or lower, as we know Redmi always do give us one of the lowest prices. So we could be looking at a price of around $3,299 or $3,399 in China, which translates to roughly about $500 US. There will also be the Zoom edition launching as well, and a lot of leaks about the phone have suggested it will just add the zoom camera unit from the Mi Note 10 that was released about 6 months ago. It does seem a little bit strange to make an entirely different phone just to fit a slightly longer zoom camera on there, so we may be in for some surprises in that phone because Redmi have been quiet about it. We could be seeing some extra specs in that phone too. We'll have to look out for that, and do also look out for other products launching at the launch event, like a Redmi fitness band that could be in the same shape and design as those Xiaomi fitness bands. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.